Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Where we at? Where we at? Bam, there we go. I hope everybody's having a good morning. I don't know who's going to stop by. I hope we see a bunch of people. Mike Ball, what's up, my brother? Mike, I'm going to be calling you probably the end of the week. I'm going to have some merch to send you, my brother, if you don't mind. You know, maybe I'll have to sponsor your show. Nah, I'm joking. Now, Mike's a good dude, man. Catch him at 11 o'clock, too. Today's going to be Steve. What's up, brother? Today's going to be Steven. I'm sorry. Today's going to be different. First, I want to talk about a couple announcements. The clothing line's going great. Matter of fact, I should have some merchandise at the end of the week. Um, Another thing, the Make the Wish Foundation toy drive will be starting in another week or two. Um, the I want to show you what I did right now for the homeless sock drive. So I remember I had 125 hours. I actually put more money into it. So I had 125 hours in there, and I just spent 120 yesterday. I still have 40 hours in there, but that's some of my money. Before I get into my life starting, you're gonna want to hear this story about me and my life, man, because I've never shared this stuff before. But the drive for the homeless, I want to show you guys something. This is what I was able to buy. I hope you guys could see it. So there's a total of I think 25 bags, 25 razors, 25. I mean, it's got everything in here that you need: toothbrush, razors, I think deodorant. You got the bags right here, the tinfoil bags, hats, neck things, gloves, socks. I mean, this has got everything in it, and I want to get more. So, you know, if you guys see the link and you want to donate still, because it's not over yet, feel free. And just to show you what I'm doing, let me show you this. There we go. Give me back bigger. There we go. This new. All right. So just so you guys can see, because I have to show everything on here, which I think that's the right thing to do anyway. Because a lot of people lie and or take advantage of people. So like you can see right there, arriving tomorrow, and I think I paid. What was it? I think it was like 117 or something like that. Wanda, good morning. Rabbits. So the Make the Wish drive is coming up, and I should have T-shirts by the end of the week for the homeless drive. I'm going to run that to the end of the month. Dollarama, I don't know, but Wanda, this is what I got though. I mean, I'm sure you saw it already, but this is the best one that I saw because it has the tinfoil blankets, the hats, the gloves, the scarves, the I don't know what all this is though. This stuff over here. Hold on, let me try to. Oh, here we go. Hold on. Toothbrush. Oh, combs. Toothbrush. That looks like I don't know. It's got razors. It's got everything in here. Listen, what do you want? I'm doing the best I can for these people. Well, you guys are helping me too. So, like I said, if anybody feels that they want to donate, still the Cash App's running on the bottom of the screen. Um, like I said, don't forget Mike Ball's up next. Okay, let's get into it. Why I never joined an MC club. Let me first start by saying, by no way, shape, or form do I look down on people in clubs or do I feel any way that I'm better than them because they chose to do that. Not because I think it's respectable the reason why I chose not to do it. Now, before I get into why I choose not to do it, when I was 10 years old, I met my first one percenter. He was a president at the time. Matter of fact, one of the presidents at a young age, 18 years old, he was close to that. He was, some guys are built for that crap, man. You don't see that. But in my day, remember, I'm 52. This is 42 years ago. I met a guy. I don't need to get into the name. Um, He's well known, well respected. He was in one of the big four clubs. You know, in my neighborhood, Philly was different because you had a couple different factions, but you only had three clubs, man. Pagans, Warlocks, Wheels. I mean, you had Thunder Guards are mostly over in Chester, but growing up, you learn respect, meaning that even if you ride with a certain group that you know, now when you have a patch on, it's a whole different story. I'm sure Mike Ball could agree with me. See, I was one of the main reasons was the fact knowing I couldn't give 100% because I was a single pop. No dig to my kid's mom or nothing like that, but I was busy a lot and my father was sick and I dealt with a lot of stuff, man. So to not be able to give 100% to your brothers, that's not good because there's a lot of guys who half-ass it. Guys who are in a club for 2, 3 years and they're gone. There's solid guys who are in clubs and then they're out bad. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of reasons, but there's no disrespectful reason. I respect people in clubs. I just like freedom. I like to come like if I'm in a pack riding with guys and I'm fortunate enough to ride, or they let me roll with them, and I'm in a pack with 25 guys, I hang back because there was a time that my kids when they were little, maybe a phone call, I had to run, I had to dodge. But that was the one big reason is if you join a club, you have to give it your all, man. Because the patch doesn't make you, you got to make the patch, meaning that the work begins once the patch goes on. To me, I knew that I couldn't give that because I know I was going to pick other things before that. But the bond that I built with guys in clubs, man, I know, Mike, that's the biggest reason is the independent. That's why I have it, man. And listen, let me tell you something, man. People in the street can talk all they want. And I'm not talking tough, but I'm just keeping it decent, man. For years, I rolled around like this. For years, I rolled around like this. You know what I'm saying? You can see the dirt marks on there, but, I respect everybody in the club, man. And let's not take away from guys like Mike and other guys who are in clubs that, have to prospect and give the time and do all that stuff, man. That's a big deal. But for me, I knew that I couldn't. Yeah. Damn, sorry for your surgery. But I knew for me that I couldn't get that. Now, I know a lot of people, there's a lot of big bike shows out there. There's a lot of stuff I haven't talked on. So meeting them guys at 10 years old, was cool for me. But listen, I was around stuff when it was hot, man. Mike's a little younger than me. Around in the 80s, the 90s, especially the 90s, the 2000s, man, Philly was crazy. Go look at the history. I was around for all that, and I was around a lot of good dudes. A lot of good dudes I know went to jail. A lot of good dudes I know didn't go to jail. The brotherhood to me, I always felt was very I see so many guys complaining all the time. You see guys that love it. You can tell the guys are going to be there forever. Me, my thing is, even when I was in the street, I went everywhere, man. I went to different neighborhoods. I was Spanish. I went to North Philly. I went to West Philly, down the bottom. So to me, I like the move, man. I didn't like being stuck in one thing. But I have the utmost respect for people in the club and do what they do. Do I think there's a lot of jokers in clubs? Damn straight. Do I think there's a lot of guys that have patches don't deserve it? Damn straight. Do I think a lot of clubs start selling their patches just for numbers? Quantity over quality. I think that was the downfall of the club. Do I think the government's coming after the clubs? Probably so. But when you see a dude like Mike Ball and even Hardwire and these guys carry themselves the way they do, that gives me hope because Mike's a younger dude and I said when I first met him, you definitely were taught right, and you could tell he listens. To me, it's like Philly was always bam, bam, bam. Like, you got dudes on this side, dudes on that side. There was always controversy, man. There was always situations. But then the thing is, like, when you're up against something, do you stay true to your people? Because remember, just because you're an independent, if you're around certain club, which I was for a long time, you got to carry that the whole time. You can't turn it off and just act like you're not. Like where I'm from in Philly, there's a different club down there, predominant. And now it's growing. I mean, even the African American clubs, great guys over there, man. Thunderguards, Wheels. I know guys in a lot. I don't really know a lot of the HAs. I know a couple, but I don't know them like that. But the guys I grew up with and that I knew, the guys that are still in, a lot of good dudes, man. Go to work. They really love the brotherhood. Then the guys who I always seem cause the most controversy, like the arrogance, they're the guys who don't stay. They're the first guys that come into the club and they got their chest out. And they make guys like me look at that and say, man, I don't like that. Why do I want to be around that? But my reasoning was not just for that, because, in that world, you got to have thick skin. But I feel that to not give 100%, and like Mike said, if you want freedom, it's impossible to do, man. So I feel like that most people that get into a club, like Mike's, you could tell is probably going to be there for a long time. Hardwire, one day they might say that they don't want it. I don't know. Nobody has a ball, but I guarantee Mike knows the guys who are part timers, the guys who make that, they think that the Pats make them. And you have a lot of that down here, man, in Philly. I'm sure in other states, I think down south it might be a little bit different. I don't know. I heard different things, and even Florida is different. I mean, you have so many clubs now. Now I like what they're trying to do. I don't know if they'll ever be able to do it, but you got clubs who want to make peace. All the big clubs are calling for peace, man. I think that would be a great thing because, man, I know a lot of guys who went to jail behind that patch, guys who died in the street. I know guys that really lost their lives over that shit. Good dudes too, man. Yeah, bro. And that's the truth. See how he worded that? Look at that. Because Mike's the kind of guy that's going to bring value to a club. And he knows that he's going to, I could tell Mike's assessing, watching everything going on, paying attention, and making sure that with a brother like him, and he's going to definitely gravitate to other brothers like him. See, that's another thing too in some of the clubs, man. You got cliques, this guy, this guy, this guy. But when you guys like Mike and his people, man, and for the betterment, like see how he worded that? They're the guys that really care about the club. They care about the brand. You know what I'm saying? And there's no one person bigger than the patch. That's another thing that I think people got messed up. People think just because somebody's a president, well, maybe presidents do a lot. I mean, they put guys out bad, whatever. I know a guy out here that was out bad who didn't do a damn thing wrong, and they told me, yeah, you're not Pats. If you see him, man, we don't want to see you really talking to him, but whatever. And I'm like, and I seen the guy at a funeral. He's sitting at the table with the Mother Club. They tell me don't talk, and I see the guy sitting at the table with the Mother Club, Mr. Outbad. Like, I don't know. There's crazy things too, man. There's white guys in black clubs. Like, there's a guy around here that I know. There's a great guy. I don't have to get into the name, but he's a predominant figure in African American club. And, they all say the same thing, man. Like, it's not what it used to be. It's not this, it's not that. But there's guys who believe in that so much, that brand, that they stay there. Me, I knew that if I couldn't give it 100%, it's not fair to any other guy. I can't be in it next to somebody and not have, his best intentions, knowing that, okay, something's about to go down or they're going on a run or have to do something mandatory and I have to do something else or I can't make it. See, that's the thing. Some people think they're above that. See, I understood all that because I was schooled very young. I was schooled at 10. And let me tell you something, and this is full disclosure to everybody who, a lot of people on the internet talk crap. I was offered a spot in 4 different clubs, man. 2 with the same at one time in my life and 3 other different clubs. And the guys understood why I wasn't doing it, and they respected why I wasn't doing it. And I appreciated the offer, but I just couldn't give them the time. Now, who knows, man? I always said maybe one day I'd like to start my own club. Not that I'm going to do that. I was saying as a young person, everybody envisions that. Everybody dreams that. And let me tell you something, man. Everybody, when you're young, it don't matter what club they see. If you're a little kid and you're not passing, you're not really tied to any organization or club like that, any biker you see with a patch is really like, not influencing, but it's pretty much like it grabs your attention right away. Funny. I like to feel that that's how I am. I'm respected. Look, I know Mike Ball knows. I'm sure he might people that might not like me. But guess what? I've never screwed nobody over. Who's that girl? Yeah, I'm lost on that one, Steven. Steven's a great friend, man. I don't know if you guys know her or not, but Steven's really like aces, man. So to me, I never joined the club because I couldn't give it 100%. But you see the picture in my thumbnail. That was a lot of guys at that event. I just had a friend, my buddy with this clothing line, Opwear.shop. He was at an event doing clothes for some guys, and my name came up, and they were talking highly of me. I mean, I used to get a lot of slack because when I'd be around if I was around a predominant 1% club and I was getting a lot of respect, man, the underlings, the new guys, they would get jealous of that shit. They would hate. One time I pulled up, we went to an event. I'm not going to say where it's at, but one of the big four clubs. I was invited a couple years ago to the main party, and we went there. And when I pulled in with a bunch of guys, 20 some, patch guys. I pulled in with the pack. And man, the dudes were talking shit. Guys who've been in there for 6 months to a year. I'm like, bro. And then one guy, true story, man. If I'm lying, I'm flying. One guy says, yo, patch guy says, yo, Squigs, Mike, can you give me a beer? Can you get me a beer? He didn't say, get me a beer. One of the patch dudes starts running his mouth talking shit, saying, yeah. And the patch guy looks over and says, yo, what the hell's your problem, man? He's like, I've known this guy for 20 some years. Like, he's been a friend of the club since he was a young buck, man. Like, this guy's family to us. Why would you even talk like that? I asked him. And then the dude just, like, his face went numb. And this dude was not that it does. He was a sergeant arms. He was pretty heated over that. But I told him, don't worry about it, man. I could take all that. And you know what? Little stuff like that got me a lot of respect because I never ran to nobody. Any problem I ever got into, I dealt with myself. But I have noticed in the last year or two how many disrespectful people there are out there. So-called friends, people that just one day they're your boys and they're not. And I know in the club world it's a lot like that. Like, I know so many guys, he's out bad, but everybody still talks to him. I just talked to a guy the other day who was sergeant arms in the club. He left, and he's very respected dude, very feared dude. And we're supposed to be getting together, man. We're talking about like pop plans. We don't even care about that stuff. But, he was telling me too, like, I'm glad you never did that, man, because look where I'm at now. Look at these guys, how they treated me. And, another reason why too is my uncle who was predominant. He was a president in Philly chapter. And he actually was the first one to strengthen Philly. He wasn't my real uncle, but he was, I was around him a lot. And, a lot of guys maybe don't like him. They do. I don't need to say his name, but maybe one day I will. But he never wanted me to do it. When it was offered to me, he was right there. He said, I can expedite you, but I don't think you want this, man. You like your freedom. You like to do your own thing. You don't want to be bound to rules and stuff. Not that I couldn't respect it and I couldn't do it. I could do that shit with my eyes closed because you know why? I'm not going to be the guy that wants it for free. I'm going to be the guy doing whatever it takes to get it. And I'm not saying I'm going to go hurt people and shit, but, I understand, man. I watched my uncle have guys in the snow pull their bikes out. Get me a pen. They had to have a pen ready. I'm not going to say a lot of other things because that's people's private stuff, but, you have to have certain things available at all time. And to me, not that I thought I couldn't do that. I just didn't want it at the time because I had my hands in other things. And, my daughter was young and there was a lot of shit going on at that time. And I knew I would have been the dude going to jail, not telling. And it just, to me, I didn't, I remember when them guys went up to New York and they all got locked up, man. One of my good friends, like a brother to me, man. I love that dude. Them guys did time behind that stuff, man. But if they probably had to do it all over again, I'm sure they would. I've gained so many relationships over the years with this biker shit. And now, to be honest, with this clothing line, one thing I'm able to do now is there's so many good clubs out there, man. There's so many good dudes. It's in clubs. Like you got that dude out there in LA. I mean, in Canada. His dad started the Satan's Choice. He did time, came out. I think he went to Hell's Angels. He was there for a while. And now he's starting his dad's club up again, the Satan's Choice, man. I think that's, from what I hear, is a respected dude. I mean, supposedly they want to bring some brotherhood back. I don't know. I guess that's what it was back in the day. Nobody had money. People got on their bikes. Half they're working on their bikes, man. You know, it's like how many guys you see get in a pack and check their bikes before they roll out? I mean, I don't know. But for me, I respect dudes like Mike Ball, even Hardwire, all the guys from Philly that I know, from Chester, from the Carolinas, from Florida to LA to New York. Man, there's guys down south. I know guys in Tennessee. Like there's so many good dudes that showed me so much respect. I could never talk bad about the life. The only thing I talk bad about the life is I don't like when a dude gets out bad when he's not out bad. Then he didn't do anything. Number one, that's not my business. But number two, I don't like the whole fake tough guy. Like once a dude's a cool ass dude, then he gets the pats and he just acts like an asshole. I don't respect none of that shit. But then what makes me look forward to stuff is like when I see a dude like Mike, man, he's a young dude. Look how he carries himself. Like that's the kind of dudes that if I knew I could have a bunch of brothers like that, I would do it in a heartbeat, man. And you know, I've been around so long, I've seen it all, man. I've seen it all. Nobody could say I haven't, man. There's so many stories I have. A lot of them I don't tell because I feel like I was privy to some information. And I was respected enough to be around certain things. Sometimes things happen, man. You're not, you know, people are not just, you know, predicting what's going to happen. People are not just letting you know ahead of time this is going to happen. Sometimes things jump off. Like one time I was at a Wawa and I had a certain shirt on and I was surrounded by a couple dudes. Whatever. I meant no disrespect. It wasn't like that, but I understood. You know, it's like that's the shit. Watch your mouth. Like I've been lied on here. Mother humpers come up here and they run back and tell people I said something. I never said nothing on here. I respect everybody, man. I really do. Even if I don't mess with you, I don't like you, I just cut you off and don't talk to you. I don't need to talk about you, put you down. I mean, most of the times, if somebody I'm not cool with or not talking to them, it's usually because there's something wrong with them or they're miserable. And that's, you know, stuff enough. Yeah, I can't. Listen, Wanda, I told you before, my cousin is the head of transportation in all of Canada. Well, I know Ontario, Toronto. I'm gonna hopefully getting out there in a couple months. I want to go see my aunt. She's still alive, my mom's sister. But see, the main thing I want to do, Steven, I'm glad you just brought that up because you always keep me back on track. But the main thing why I'm glad I never did the club thing and all that is because, listen, I coached for 25 years. Not saying you can't be an MC club and coach. I'm not saying that. But what I'm trying to do now, even with the youth centers and all these, you know, homeless drives and toy drives, I'm trying to be betterment of the community. Not saying bikers aren't, because any community bikers are in, that neighborhood's safer. But I'm saying I have to do a lot. Now my parents aren't here. God bless them. They're together. I have a lot more time to get things done and to move. That's what I know. For 10 years, I've been here. I was taking care of my dad and my mom. So it's not a pity party, man. People have it way worse than me. I'm just saying, for me, it's like, you know, time to do things. Me, and especially with the clothing line, I'm gonna have to hit tattoo shop, tattoo conventions, biker events. You know, it's gonna be busy. But the good thing I can do is to take that message around. Let these kids start looking up to the dude who works every day, the dude who's pushing a 9 to 5. Or like you want to look up to a biker dude, man, look at the dude like Mike Ball. That's how you carry yourself. All the youngins out there, man, they're learning from these adults who scream on the internet, run their mouths. Everybody's a tough guy, tough girl. That doesn't sustain, man. It doesn't last. The thing that'll last is when you treat people right, treat people good, you have respect. If you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. How many people have come after me on the internet and I never even mentioned their name and went after them? There's no reason to. For what? I'm living in their head. They're not living in my head. And I do wish people well, even if I don't mess with them. God bless. But what I'm trying to do here is going to be something to change the next generation, man. We all collectively have to be people who want to make these kids look up to something better. Yeah, I know this could be a boring segment. This is a boring live. Everybody sitting here wants to see controversy or whatever. I understand. Mike Ball doesn't have controversy. Look at him. He's got 40, 50 people in there every morning because he's consistency, not just with him showing up and doing a show, is because he's a good dude and he carries himself well. And you know what? I hope he gets tons more success. I know he's got the respect. Thank you, Steven. You know, I'm not staying on here long today. You know, I just want to come on here and tell you that, you know, I hear a lot of chatter all the time about me, and I could have never been an MC, could never did it. Yeah, I was offered it a couple times. I could do it right now if I want to. I have too much respect for the brotherhood to not be a part-timer. I'd have to give it all. Awesome. Wow. God bless. I'm glad. I'm glad that you had a good experience. Because a lot of people have bad experience with bikers too, man. But like I said, it's not the whole brand. It's usually a couple guys, man, who just make it all about them. And then they leave the club and then they're so pissed and they're on the internet screaming at everybody, yelling at everybody, cursing at everybody. It's just like, you know, I don't believe life is about that. I think life is about how you carry yourself, how you treat people, and respect, man. Because to me, that's what I was taught. That MC world, that culture is respect first. Respect. That's it. Respect. And you know what? A lot of times, if you're in that world and you respect the chain of command, sometimes you have to give the respect before you get it. People say, oh, I don't understand that. Why do that? No, man, I got to give respect to give it. No, that's not right. When you have an older dude that's been around, it's common courtesy, man. It's respect. It's old school ways. That's how old school bikers do it, man. I know you got new guys that don't want to hear that. They don't think they have to give anybody respect or nothing, but you do. And for me, you know, the mission is to pass on to the youth to not go down the same path, man. To not have to bury your friends, to not have to be shot or see your friends shot on life support or in wheelchairs. I mean, that's real shit. That's real talk. You know, I'm not talking tough up here. I'm just being real. I've experienced all that, man. And it didn't make me want to be bitter. Didn't make me want to be sad. Didn't want to make me disrespect people. It just made me realize that your life's got to change, man, for the better. Even if you think you're doing good, there's a reason why bad things are happening. So I changed my life. And here I am today, man. I'm still going. I'm still standing, despite what all these people talk, despite what they all say, how they hate. They run their mouth, code this, code that. Listen, my name is Mike Squiggles, Squilchati. I'm from Southwest Philadelphia, a little place. You know, I have a lot of friends, real friends, and I respect it. And I respect a lot of people. And that's because my whole life I was taught that from my parents first. Then when you're young, you get around the MC culture. That's demanded. You can't be around those guys and act like anything other than a good dude. You're always going to have one guy who's going to call you out, man. So many times I've been around when a new guy was patched and he came up asking who I am, where I come from. All right, Wanda, you too. Well, God bless your mother. My mother too, Wanda, before you leave. There's my mother. But anyway, Mike Ball's on 11 o'clock. Go check him out. I'll be back probably on Wednesday or Thursday. I think I'm going to go live from the street. I'm going to try to set up a couple of interviews. And yeah, they do. They do. And I like to see people do. Now, see, Steven, you know me because you've been around me, but 25 years I coached, man. Baseball, soccer, basketball. I gave up time. I donated my time. I never got paid for that. And I would do it all over again. And it's a shame because you can see so many kids that aren't going to be there that's going to mess up. But at the end of the day, man, that's all I want to do. Keep it going. Look up to the guy that's working, man. These guys in the street acting like tough guys. The drugs, the drama, the bull doesn't sustain. You end up going to jail. You get hurt. You lose loved ones. People get robbed. You know, you wind up having a girl, and next thing you know, she's running around with other people or something. I mean, it's just not. The measure of a man is growth. And you cannot grow by staying the same. You have to learn, go through experiences. You have to be around good people. You have to keep yourself around good people. If you learn from your parents or you learn from people good, older, elderly, you take that lessons and you run with it because it worked for all those years. It's still working today. You're always going to come up against ignorance. There's nothing you can do about that. Don't let it distract you or discourage you because I promise you one thing. That old saying, you get more with sugar than you do with salt or something. It's the truth, man. Sasso, what's up, brother? I'm getting ready to get out of here, man. We've been up here for a little bit. Hey, Skittle. God bless. Yeah, no, Steven, I'm gonna be getting in touch with you at the end of the week because all my stuff should be in. I ordered a bunch of clothes and stuff, and I got my tags will be coming and everything, and I'm gonna start printing everything up. So you have to. See, Wanda. Who's that girl? But I do got to get out of here. Go check Mike Ball, 11 o'clock. Stay blessed, not stressed. Let God handle the rest, man. And be kind to people. It doesn't cost anything. Let people talk. What do you care? Straight up. If you see kids on the street with a lemonade stand, man, throw them a couple of hours, man. These kids are, how hard it is for kids to do the right thing these days. I just seen a guy the other day. These kids, they weren't young. They were young teenagers. These dudes were out there selling lemonade, man. And this dude was up there. He had $5 in his hand. He was trying to get like $7 worth of stuff. I said, here, man, I gave the kids a $10 bill. I will. Be kind to people, man. God bless. Bye.